Hello students, in Indian history we are studying about extremism. Extremism was began from the year 1905 to 1918. Extremism was implied to a revolutionary aims and methods for achieve their goals. It means that defensive authority for achievement of freedom from British rule. Extremists believed that freedom was achieved through not begging, through fight against British rule. Lala Lajpat Rai, Bipin Chandra Pal and Lokmanya Balangadhar Tilak, popularly known as Lala Bala Pala, are the three important leaders during the period of extremism movement. Tilak was known as father of Indian unrest. Lala Lajpat Rai was a lion of Punjab. Pal was a father of revolutionary thought. Tilak's slogan was Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. Revolutionary traditions in France, Ireland, America, Italy were reached to the hearts of the Europeans and also to reach the hearts of the Indians. The period from 1905 to 1918 was recorded as a period of extremism or extremist nationalism. Lala Lajpat Rai, Bipin Chandra Pal and Balangadhar Tilak were the leaders of extremism and they popularly responsible for the rise of extremism in India. Now we look into the causes for rise of nationalism. It is different reasons were responsible for the rise of nationalism in India. First one, recognition of true nature of British rule was exposed. The nationalist leaders has exposed the true exploitative rule of the British to the Indians and Indians were realized that British rule was one of the exploitative in nature. Dadabhai Naoroji, M.G. Ranade and R.C. Datta in his book India Today and Dadabhai Naoroji's in book Poverty and Un-British Rule in India and Indian Poverty were correctly opposed to the rule of British rule in India and he has also propagated drain theory. Second point, opposition over Western Indian life and thought. Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, Swami Vivekananda, Swami Dayananda Saraswati were recognized as heroes of the leaders of extremism. Point number 3, dissatisfaction with the achievements of the Congress under the leadership of moderates. The moderates' thoughts, process and their P works were not well to the achievement of freedom in India. The extremists were believed that the moderates were just as a supporters of British, the Congress of flatters and annual session was described as a holiday recreation. Lala Lajpat Rai was said that Congress session of annual session was the festivals of educated Indians. For this purpose, the other causes also responsible for cause of rise of nationalism in India. Economic miseries faced by India during the time of 19th century and during the early part of the 20th century. The year 1977 along with that 1989, there is severe cause of famine and plague. The British were failed to take measures to suppression of the plague. Apartheid, one of the racial discrimination was found in the regions of Africa. Indians were completely neglected. The British colonies were especially in South Africa created a feeling of anti-British attitude towards the British in India. Gandhiji launched a Satyagraha movement and campaign for British to fight against apartheid. Satya and non-violence were become the principles of apartheid. They fought against apartheid. Another factors that was responsible for rise of nationalism, the Japanese victory over Russia in the year 1905 as one of the moral booster to the Asiatic people. Another one, reactionary policies of Curzon. Curzon from 1899 to 1905, he was served as one of the viceroys of India and he was of the opinion that Indians were not to be fit to be ruled by Indians. His policies and his acts, Calcutta Corporation Act, University Act, the Grand Darbar in the regions of Delhi, Punjab Tenancy Act and one of the most unkindest cut was the Indian partition. There was partition of Bengal in the year 1905. Growth of self-respect and self-confidence. Aravinda Ghosh was asserted that the fate of the country is in ourselves. It is not to be outforced by anyone. It is in the hearts and minds of the people. Along with that, Lala Lajpat Rai was also told that they would have to strike blow the freedom. The harder the contest, the more glorious is the trump. Swami Vivekananda is also given a call, arise, awake, not stop till the goal is reached. Self-help and self-sacrifice is the real force behind the field of nationalism in India. reactionary policies of also Curzon was also responsible for cause of rise of nationalism. Some other factors, international events inspired for the movement of national movement in India, cause of rise of extremism. Backward nation of Japan, the Asian country coming up for the first rate industrial power during the 19th century. Russo-Japan War of 1905, Italy-Ethiopian War of 1896, revolutionary movement in the regions of China, Egypt, Greece, Russia, Ireland, Turkey was also one of the reasons for responsible for rise of nationalism. Another factor, liberal ideas of Gladstone. Gladstone was become the Prime Minister of England, and his Prime Ministership, he was succeeded in spreading the ideas of liberty, equality and fraternity. The rise of nationalism, rise of patriotism, the ideas of democracy was began to spread in the regions of Europe, and it is also began to spread in the regions of India. And second one, the second Socialist International meet was held in Paris in the year 1889. It was completely based on the principles of Karl Marx's theory of scientific socialism. Karl Marx was regarded as the pioneer of scientific socialism, and he was of the opinion that all the countries of the people will be unites. We have nothing to lose, we have witnessed changes. This was a tremendous impact on the Indians during the time of the rise of extremism. The philosophies of Fabian society, England with the stress of liberalism, all these factors leads to the rise of extremism beginning in the year 1905, and it was continued up to the period of 1919. The moderates policies were completely opposed, and they were eager to get freedom within the movement against British. They wanted to get self-rule and to be ruled by themselves. They also launched a movement of home rule movement in the year 1916, and the Lucknow Pact, that was considered as one of the unity congress between the moderates and extremists. Moderates and extremists began to think that they will be fight together, united together to fight against British authorities. And along with that, the British authorities was also thought that during the period of national movement, they are responsible for the highlight of their glories. They wanted to glorify the white man's burden and his responsibility to fight against British. These all the factors responsible for the rise of nationalism, extremist nationalism, and also along with that revolutionary terrorism during the early part of the 20th century.